All right, so we're on our Wednesday live call. We got Mike here. And for context, you own a stump grinding business. How long have you been doing it now?
Since 2021. I started in 2021, right after COVID. Yeah.
Nice. And is it still you like running the machine?
I'm doing everything. It's
running the whole show?
It's a one-man show, and I do all the work. I get all the jobs. I bid on all the jobs. I do all the accounting. Actually, I don't do the accounting. I have a bookkeeper now, which has helped tremendously.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he's really on top of everything. But other than that, I pretty much do it all. Yeah.
Yeah. So your question was like, you're thinking about scaling or growing, but you're not sure. So like what comes up like when you think about that? Like, how do you feel about it? About growing?
Well, I don't know if I want to take that next step. I don't know. At my age, I don't know if I want to go there right now. Like, do I really want to get into that? If I was a lot younger, then I would go for it all the way, 100%. But now I'm nearing the end of my career.
So you think you're too old is what I'm hearing. You know, Colonel Sanders was 60. I think it was 60, if not 65, when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And like he was poor until then, and then he blew up. He was 62 years old.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because you're on the fire department too. So when do you retire from the fire department?
3.5 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. How old are you going to be then?
Mandatory age is 60 on the fire department, as you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be 60 then.
Uh-huh. Do you have a plan of what you're going to do after? Because you're in good shape. You don't look like you're mid-50s.
Well, you know me, Nick. What have I always said? I want to buy a house in Italy, and I'm going to go and live there.
Yeah. So you got a plan.
I do have a plan. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to spend some time there in Europe. Not all year, but the winter months. And then, yeah, I'd like to work the rest of the time. I do enjoy working very much. Like, I like running the business. It's rewarding.
So what if you had a business that you could run from Italy? You sit in your house looking over the vineyard and just make a couple phone calls, and the checks come in.
What about the headaches?
So, well, that's the thing is if you structure, there's always in business, there's always headaches, like there's always challenges, but like you said, you like to work. So is it worthwhile to deal with the headaches for like what you can get out of it? So like, you deal with a lot on the fire department, but it's worth it because they're paying you well and they treat you well. So like, if you had a business and it's, what does that number have to be if it's dollars for it to be worth it? Like, oh yeah, I got to deal with some headaches. And the other thing is, eventually you build the system so that there's less headaches, but I won't say that, oh no, you just set it up and nothing ever, there's no problems ever, because that's not business. It's like you already know, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like, is there a number? But I can give you like my secret sauce. So like, why do I keep doing and growing and trying to expand? And actually I heard this yesterday, and it was Ed Milet, and he's like, this is how like he frames it mentally. He says he pretends that at the end of his life, like when he dies, he's gonna go up, he's gonna be up there with God, and there's gonna be this other dude there who's his like potential. So like who he could have been if he had like maxed out all of his potential, like that's who he could have become, right? So like the healthiest version of himself, the most successful, the most like helpful, the one who made the biggest contribution. And then like, so he compares himself, he doesn't compare himself to other people, but compares himself to that person. And then his goal is when he gets there to be able to say, we're twins, me and you are the same person, because I didn't let anything stop me from fulfilling my potential. And he wants that guy to say, yeah, you did it. Like you did everything that there was for you to do. Like you didn't hold back. And like, cause that's where it starts out. It's like, what's your, where's your drive come from, like intrinsically? And like, so for me, it's the same thing. It's like, how do I fulfill my maximum potential? And so like, it depends how you're thinking about it. Like maybe, like you've already made plenty of contribution, an entire career on a fire department. Maybe you're good with that. You're good with, let's go to Italy and get the pension checks and you're happy with that. But the other thing, another coach of mine says is, it's almost the same thing. Become the best version of yourself, like the 10x version of yourself. And then he has a framework to do that, to unlock your actual potential, is like vision. So there's 3 parts. Vision is like to be like super clear on what you want, like exactly what to aim for. So like you could say like, yeah, I want to be in Italy, but I also want to get $50,000 check in the mail every day from my business, or whatever it is. Or I want to take this many vacations I want to spend this many months in Florida. But like clear vision, and then 100% belief. And he's really big on this. Like you have to have faith in your ability to achieve your goals. So being like, yeah, 100%, like nothing's going to stop me from doing it. Like somebody's going to have to shoot me to stop me from hitting these goals. And like, he also describes it as faith, because like, especially in business, like things can look bad in the moment, and then like your brain starts to say, oh yeah, this is how things always are going to be. Like, oh, we're slow this month. Well, your mind does like this linear projection of what's going to happen. It's like, oh, we're going to be slow for the rest of the business. Well, it doesn't make sense to keep running the business. So like, but if you have that belief, be like, no, I know it's going to work. This is a slow month, but you have confidence and faith that it's going to, that you can hit your vision. And then time is the third one. Like what percentage of my time are you clear on that, like on that vision and that belief? So like what percentage of your time do you spend like focused on that? And the more time you spend focused on that, the faster you get there. So it like multiplies, like it speeds you up. And like, yeah, that's the framework I use. So then I think of like, what's the 10.0 version of Nick? And like, what do I have to do? Okay, I have to eat better. I have to work out more. I have to waste less time and only focus on things that move the business forward towards the vision, and like, communicate the vision to the team. But like, I'd say like, that's the place to start, because from there, everything else like trickles down from there, and be like, okay, this is your vision. Then you want to add 2 guys to your business, and that'll be fine. Or maybe you want to have 3 crews operating. What do you think about
that? Yeah, you said a lot.
Yeah.
First of all, have you seen The Secret?
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
So I just watched it recently, and you described that to a T. The power of positive thinking, and it's true. If you think that, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that, well, that's how you're always going to be. But if you think I can and so much more, then yeah, it's so. I was pretty amazed by that, and I'm trying to work on that right now.
And you hadn't seen it before?
No, this is my
Uh-huh.
first time. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You should read it's a book, the Think and Grow Rich. Have you read that?
No.
It's really good. It's from when was it written? Like the 30s maybe? Think and Grow. 1937. But
Wow.
it's like maybe one of the top selling books like in personal development and self-improvement. It's just like one of the top books. I have a copy. It's at home, not on my shelf here. But it ties in to The Secret directly, and it expands on it and elaborates on it. And like, yeah, highly recommend that.
Yeah, it was really good.
Uh-huh.
Getting back to what you were saying about, yeah, I would be interested in doing something like that remotely. Of course I would love to. But it's just dealing with breakdowns and having employees and the employees not giving a shit about your equipment. And I take a lot of pride in looking after it and washing it, and they're not going to have that same pride. And how can I monitor that remotely, right? I almost have to be there. And the other thing too, right now, I just don't have enough work even right now. I'm seasonal.
Mhm.
I have two busy seasons, spring and fall, with the golf industry, and then in between it's just homeowners, right? And I pick up one or two jobs, but I'm not like overly busy where I even can keep an employee busy full time.
Uh-huh.
So I still have to get to that level, and I'm not even there yet.
Okay, interesting. So like, yeah, you're thinking along the lines of if you're not physically there, like they won't take pride, equipment will break down, um, not enough work for a full-time guy. Is kind of like what you picture when you think of like being remote. Because
Yeah.
because this is what I'll do, and like this is maybe one of the best lessons I learned. There's no such thing as problems, and this came from this guy. He was like an Einstein of business. He's like wrote a bunch of books and papers on. But anyways, there's no such thing as problems. There's only untested assumptions. So like you're making the assumption they won't take pride, so I have to be there to supervise. So then, like if you stop and like look at that and be like, okay, is that really true? Yeah, there are some people who don't care about their job they do, but then the other side, like, is there people who really care about their job and they're really passionate about it, even if it's like grinding stumps? Like, at the fire department, there's people who are passionate. I know passionate carpenters. Um, the other one is like, I have to be there to supervise them as a result. What about like, what if I incentivize them to take pride in the work? So uh, if they go 60 days without a breakdown, then they get a $50, $100 bonus. And then like, so there's what I'm getting at is there's ways to structure it so that it's not an issue. Or maybe you just hire somebody in a supervisor role who's there supervising the crews. And then if they don't, there's a standard that says you got to wash the machine this many times, you got to check the oil every week. And if you don't do it, first time, okay, let's make sure that it's clearly laid out what the process is. Second time, like that's it, they're gone. If I hire someone else. So like if you stop and like attack those assumptions, then like that starts to give you like the way you could solve it. And like the other thing you can think of is, how many stump grinding companies is there in the country? Probably, how many do you think? Like 1,000? And
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I follow quite a few of them around the world. But most of them seem to be in the US, the ones that are on social media anyway.
yeah.
And there's this one guy that I follow. He's really inspirational. He's really good. And he makes a lot of money. And I talk to him too. He has the same machine that I have.
Yeah.
And he has a YouTube channel, and he's helped me a lot. He's very charismatic and really personable. He just wants to help people. Positive influence guy.
Yeah. Okay. I asked ChatGPT. It says 300 to 500 stump grinding companies across Canada. And let's see, Canada's share of the market is 10. Let's see what it's. Their share of the market is $13 million. Oh, hang on. Service revenues, 40 million US dollars. So like you have 500 companies doing $40 million a year. So do you think that in each of those companies, the owner has to be there personally to supervise to make sure things get done properly? Right? Or is it more likely that like they figured out a way that they can run 5 crews, and the owner probably has nothing to do with it. They have a general manager who takes care of operations. Just to like, does it make sense what I'm getting at, to like break you out of that thought pattern of being like, oh no, I have to be there? Because I was the same way. Like my carpenters aren't going to do it right if I'm not here to watch, because I know how to do it right. But eventually I just found guys they were actually better than me and more qualified than me. Like they've been doing it longer than I have. And I was like, okay, well, I can't tell him anything because he knows what he's doing. So I don't need to be there anymore.
Yeah, that makes total sense. My business is a little bit different though. I don't know. You asked me about who's doing it. Like my business is kind of unique in that way. Because, well, as well, in the arborist business, there's arborists cut trees down and clean up, and they grind stumps as well, right? So they do a whole package where I just do the stumps, and that's it. Yeah, and I think I've mentioned this to you before. For that reason, it can be competitive, right? But I found that a bit of a niche with the golf industry. They really like the service that I can provide, and they cut the trees down themselves, and then I just come in and then take the stumps out for them, right? They really like that.
Yeah. So that's really good that you have a niche, right? Because then you don't have to compete like against these other people. And like the service that you provide, could you put that into a manual and be like, this is how to provide service that keeps golf courses really happy? And it's like, and like to the detail, be like, I call them the day before to confirm. Like when I greet the guy, I make sure I look him in the eye and shake his hand, and bring a coffee for the operations manager, like whatever you do, right? It's like, can you just document that so that somebody else could provide that same level of service and keep them as happy? Is one thing.
Yeah,
and
I am doing something right in my presentation, because they always comment on how friendly I am. I guess I am, and they say that the work exceeded their expectations. So I think I have something to do with that. Machine does mostly, but so trying to carry that to somebody else, it takes a personality, right? And to do that, I really care about my clients very much and want to do the best work I possibly can for them. Where I don't think that's the same attitude with a lot of people today, right?
So it is different. You're right. Like when it's a business owner, because the business owner is like personally invested. It's their business, it's their reputation. So like there is like this difference between the business owner and an employee. But this is what I've learned. If an employee can do something 80% as good as I can do it, that's freaking awesome. Like that's enough. Because like, so imagine like they give you 10 stars, right? Or they rate you 100%. And like, you know, because you do everything and you're thinking, and you know, entrepreneurs, like you think more about the customer and like about their needs. So if you bring someone in and they can deliver 80%, like they're not going to go over the top, but if they can do 80%, is that still enough to keep getting work? Like, are they still going to call you back if you're at 80% out of 100%? Because you're right, like the owner has better customer service, but like how many businesses do you give your business to where it's not the owner, you know, it's a kid flipping burgers or whatever, you know, whoever's working on your car, whoever's doing renovations for you, like that kind of thing. There's all these other businesses where, yeah, you can, it's still enough to deliver the service at 80%. And the other thing is like, yeah, you have the right character and personality. And that's the great thing is that you can hire for that. So you say, okay, when I hire, I need to screen and make sure that these people are friendly, that they're like well-groomed, they don't look like hobos, you know, that they know how to speak properly to a customer. And yeah, that's the kind of thing you can screen for. And like, you know, take your time. If you talk to 200 applicants to a job, probably, you know, at least 5% are going to have good attitudes and character. So that's 10 people you can choose from to replace you. And then you'd also said like not busy enough for a full-time employee. How are you advertising right now? Like, how do you get the word out?
My advertising is very, very limited. I advertise in the local magazine, the Postage Pioneer. I don't know if you remember that. It's and I get a lot of work from them. And I advertise in the Golf Superintendents Association magazine as well. That comes out quarterly. So I have an ad in their magazine, the OGSA. And that is pretty much it. The rest is word of mouth, or I go out actively and get the work. So I go and visit and say, hey, you know, I noticed this, you know, you got some stumps here. Do you want me to remove these? Or, you know, would you like them removed? I can give you a price, you know, like that, right? Just because I can't really afford the advertising. I don't know. These are all tactics that I'm not sure on how to approach it. I would like to take it to the next level, and I think there is potential. Like, if you look at my competition, he's not my competition, but he does the exact same thing I do. Down in Colorado, this guy that has a YouTube channel, he's killing it. He works every day, and he does 4 or 5 jobs a day. I'm not even close to that, but he works 4 or 5 jobs a day every day for the whole year. And he does the same thing I do.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think that there's enough, like overall in, you know, in your geographical region that you could reach? You think overall there's enough work to keep, you know, one machine busy full time for all year round?
Yeah.
right? Because I just checked here. There's 350 golf courses in Southern Ontario. So like, I'm sure you got lots. And this I learned in my business. And it took 2 years. And I was the same. I was like, oh, we're kind of slow. Like I can't hire another guy because we're a little slow right now. But finally, like I took a step back and I was like, what am I actually doing to advertise? And then I had been spending, I think like $200 a month on ads, on like paid ads. And finally it clicked and I was like, well, I know that like this $200 brings us, let's say it was 5 leads per week. So like 5 inquiries, and maybe if I call 20 people, I quote 10 of them and 5 of them turn into jobs. So it's 25% close rate on new leads. And I realized like if I just, so I went from $200 to $1,000 a month in ad spend, and it's like, wow, yeah, that's a lot of money. I don't have $1,000 right now. It's not in the budget. But then we went from, what did I say, 5. So we just quadrupled. So we went from 5 a week, 20 a month. Now we have 100. And actually, because I changed the strategy and I had a company actually doing my ads, we ended up with like 200 leads a month. And now I was drowning in leads. I was like, I can't even do all these quotes. There's way too much work. And so once you figure out a system like that works, basically you just have to have an ad that people are going to respond to. And then it's like a dial. You just turn it up. You just say, okay, I want more work. You just spend more money on ads, and the leads come in.
How did you do that? Did you do that online, like a social media ad, or?
Yeah, so we've done both, like Google ads and Facebook, and so Meta includes Facebook and Instagram. So right now we're doing Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, and Instagram, I advertise. I have. So you asked me how I advertise. I've advertised on Instagram as well. I paid ads. That actually does work. I've gotten work from there. I should probably do more because best bang for your buck. Google Ads. I want to try that. I have some credit on my Google page right now.
Yeah.
I think there's $600 there.
Yeah, they give you some, or they match. So it's like spend $300 and we'll give you $300, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the difference between like Facebook and Google Ads is on Facebook, the people aren't there to buy something. They're just scrolling on their feed and the ad pops up. So it's like they're getting interrupted with the ad. And if they happen to need that, then yeah, they're going to click on it. The difference with Google is that it's people who are searching for what the search terms you decided on. So that means that they're actually they Googled stump grinders near me, right? And that's where your ad pops up at the top of the results. So that means people on Google it's called intent. They have higher intent. So if I got 100 leads from a Facebook ad and 100 leads from a Google ad, chances are, like I would say, 50% of the Google leads, they actually have work that they want to get done. And it might be 10% of the Facebook leads actually have work. They might have just been curious, or like, oh, I want to quote, but I don't actually need to do it. Or so like lower intent. So that's the difference. But yeah, Google is a good, and especially when you can like track keywords and like the work you do is specific enough that you can choose the keywords. The one thing like I recommend is which I didn't do at the start, is like have a strategy and say, okay, I'm going to spend this much on Meta and this much on Google, and then like track your results and compare so you can see actually like how many came in from here and how many of them turned into closed jobs. Because now when I look at my ad spend, it's like, yeah, I spent $1,000. We had 100 leads and we closed 3 jobs. And like, how do you determine if your ad spend is worth it? Then I can look at, those 3 jobs, the net profit on those jobs maybe was $10,000. So I spent $1,000 on ads and I made $10,000 in profit, not just overall. So it's a 10x return on whatever I spent on advertising. So, but like you need to track that, because otherwise you might be spending the money, it might bring in some jobs, but it might not be profitable. You might have to like tweak it, or you might have to go to a different like advertising strategy. But that goes back to the vision I was talking about at the beginning. Like if you have a clear target and say, okay, I want to, how many jobs can you do per day, Mike?
Oh,
Like
well,
the average
yeah,
job.
like I think I can easily do 4 or 5. Well, 4 I
Uh-huh.
could do in a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's say 4 per day. So say you want to fill up your calendar full time and you need 4 jobs per day. So 20 jobs per week. That's 80 jobs per month. And like, then you can look at your close rate. Like how many leads need to come in to book 80 jobs? Like, do you have an idea of like, if 10 people call you, how many jobs you're going to get out of those 10?
How many I'm going to get out of the 10?
Yeah. Like, do you know, like typically like, yeah, what, or if you had to guess, what percentage of people that reach out to you actually end up booking a job?
Oh, I see. Oh, it's pretty high.
Uh-huh.
If I'm quoting the job, I usually get it. I would say 80%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's too high. We'll come back to that later. That means your prices should be higher, because you should be down at like 30-40% close rate.
Really?
Yeah. 80%. That means you're not charging enough. Because but we'll get to that. We'll get to that after the example. Okay, so
wow, that's interesting. I always get disappointed when I don't get the job.
No, it's you should be glad. So if you know that like you can make the most money, say closing 40%, say you double your prices and you lose half your customers, right? But now you're doing half as much work and you're making the same amount of money, right? Like, see how that makes sense? So like, would you rather work all week at a lower rate, you're closing all the jobs, or you work 2.5 days and you're making the same money? So that's the concept behind targeting a lower closing rate. But if we go back to the calculation.
Wow, that's interesting. That I never even thought of that.
Yeah. So if you need 80 jobs a month to keep you busy, you need 100 leads if your close rate is 80%. So then you can look at like how many leads are coming in right now with what I'm doing currently, and like how would I have to multiply that? So like maybe you have, I don't know, 10 per week coming in right now. So how do you 10x what you're doing? And then like when you go into the advertising, like go in with that strategy and say, okay, my goal is now to get 100 leads a month. Okay, let's say your close rate gets better and then it's 50%. So I want to get 200 leads a month so that I can close half of them and I can book 80 jobs, because then you just have something to benchmark against. Because this is another one I did in my business, and it's called random acts of marketing. I would be like, oh, I'm going to try a YouTube ad. Like, oh, I don't know I don't think that went that well. I'm gonna go back to Google Ads. Oh, I'm gonna buy a bunch of signs and door hangers and deliver them. And then I'd say, oh, I'm gonna I don't know, sponsor an event. And so like you're doing these different sort of scattered actions, but if you're not tracking how they're performing, then you don't know whether it's worth doing more of it, or whether you should just stick to what you were doing before. So that's like an important one, is just whatever you do for tracking is
well, I always ask how they heard of me, and most of the time it's just they Googled stump grinding and I was the top one. In my area, I'm number one for non-sponsored contractors.
That's really good.
Yeah. And that's because of my reviews. My reviews are really good. I'm 5-star right across.
Yeah.
So I take a lot of pride in that. I want to continue that.
Mhm.
But which tells me that maybe I should be investing more in the Google ad then, if that's where I'm getting.
Yeah, if you rank well already, then that'll like boost the performance of any Google ads that you put out. Yeah. Yeah, but I'd encourage you, Mike, like write out like that vision so you can be clear and say like, okay, I really like having a 3-year vision. So it's like, okay, 3 years from now, and it might line up for you because if you retire in 3 years and say, okay, at that point, I want this business to be doing this much revenue. This is how many like people are in it. Like this is my commitment per month or per week. Let's say how many hours of your time specifically does it take per week, and then you like build towards that, and like when you come up with like the advertising and okay, like am I going to need to hire, or do I just want to keep it as is, or have somebody part-time? Like you said, there's not enough full-time work for you right now. Like maybe your plan says I'm going to hire somebody part-time and I'm going to tell them, okay, you can work during the busy seasons and you're going to be laid off in the winter. Like, some people, their seasonal workers are happy with that.
Yeah, I've thought about hiring somebody from the fire department actually, because that would be perfect, right? They're responsible and they can't work full time.
Yeah.
If I got somebody
who wants a side gig,
another shift, yeah, that would work. Getting back to the advertising, like Facebook. Oh my God, Facebook for me is just I'm consider myself not too bad as far as computer savvy and technology. Not bad, not great, but not bad. I can figure stuff out. But Meta, wow, there's so many rules, and I get kicked out, and I can't create, I can't do ads. It's very, very restrictive. And I've tried so many times and I just gave up just because, like, I would like to advertise with them. I don't know if I'm even doing it right. I created 2 pages and
did your pages did they not like your pages?
Yeah, they don't like it, and they don't like me advertising. They kick me out. They block me. I've been, told that I can't create a page again. Yeah, it's been really hard with Meta, and I don't think I'm doing it right. Like, I almost need to hire somebody that knows what's going on with that, because I don't even think I'm in the right spectrum.
There's a couple options, because you can you can hire someone to do it. There's also a lot of like trainings where you can just go and find, some are free, some are paid, like a course on specifically like how do I set up Facebook ads in my business. But that would be a good topic. We're gonna run out of time here because I gotta onboard a new person starting today.
Yeah, that's fine. Is it just you and me here?
So far, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's just us. And I know some of the guys in the group, they work, like they're on site during the day, so then they just look at the recording. But I'll make a note. And in the group, I want to add that as one of our topics, like one of the classroom is just like how to run Facebook ads, just like the simple setup. How to set up meta ads, because it shouldn't be that complicated. It sounds like, yeah, maybe there's something you're missing there. It shouldn't be that hard to.
I don't know. I think maybe I use the personal account, and it won't let me get into the business part of it. I've already created 2 pages, and I don't want to have to create another one.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could even be the problem. If it's the same page and they think you duplicated it, they probably don't like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll cover that. I'll work on that. I want to build out the classroom section in the group here so that there's more resources, and it's mainly helpful for me because then it forces me to take what I know and like put it in writing, which then I can share with my team, or it just makes me have to think through it more clearly. But definitely I'll do one on ads. Yeah. And then yeah, was that helpful?
Yeah, it was, Nick. You're very good and inspiring. I need that. Yeah, I need some help with it because I know I have something here. It's just I need a nudge, or like this year I did really well. This spring I did really well with golf. It was incredible. Yeah. Best ever. And high-end golf courses too. So they're getting my name.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm just going to give you an example. I got called to Islington Golf and Country Club. That's at a high-end course. I was like, wow, quoted the job, get it. When can you start? So I'm doing the work, and this guy comes up to me. I don't know who he is. I think he was the owner. He said to me, he goes, hey, my name is so-and-so, and we shook hands, and he goes, I just want to let you know, he goes, the reason why you're here is because your advertising worked, and I'm willing to try you out. I'm going to take a chance on you, and I want to try you out. So we'll see how this goes. And if it goes good, then you'll be on board. Well, I was like, well, sir, I promise you're going to be so happy with my work. At the end, he said, you're on board and you're part of our contractor list. I hear this. Yeah. A lot. So
that's awesome.
I know, but it's seasonal, right? Then it slows right down. Then it's homeowners. So,
but yeah, that's so. You probably underestimate how good it is to have you have a proven model, it works, you can deliver the service and have happy clients. So then that means you don't have to look anywhere else. You've got your niche, and you just have to figure out how to get in front of more people and increase your capacity as a service. And then there's probably no limit to, you can decide how much you want to grow. So I think it's a really good opportunity. Okay, I'll get going here so I can I'm going to eat some lunch before my next meeting. But it's awesome talking to you, Mike. Thanks for coming.
Really nice talking to you too, Nick. Thanks for all your advice. I appreciate it.
No worries. Take care. Bye.